Yo, what's going on, guys? Bill here, Classic Rock and Metal Review. Time for, I don't know about you, but it's probably my favorite episode. Bootleg update. Give us the lowdown on everything coming out of Japan. It's been a while since we've done one of these, so lots of great stuff. Also, if you're a collector, kind of used to be a collector, kind of got out of it because you think the best days are behind all your favorite artists, Japan just keeps it pumping out. Get back into it. This will get you back into it. You know, you'll both thank me and hate me later on. Oh, you'll thank me. Your bank account will hate me. But at least you're on your way back into listening to music again, because all of our favorite artists they got releases coming out almost every month out of Japan. So let's enjoy it. I haven't had an update in so long that I really can't even touch on everything that came out. This will just be sort of my 35 favorite new releases over the last 4 or 5 months. Some of these upgrades, you know the deal. A lot of these have been out before. It's the newest, latest, and greatest version. So just audio here, guys. I cover bootleg video and an all-inclusive video update that covers commercial and bootleg video, concert video. Look out for that one. Probably won't be till January before I get to one of them. All right? After the Japan new releases, 35 that I'll cover for you, I'll show you 7 of my latest pickups, what I think about them. Give you basically reviews. As you can see, this is a nice long episode coming at you. Next time you see this place, we'll be done up for the holidays, but we'll also be giving something away in the first place. First things first, I need a drink, and I haven't had an Equilibrium beer in a long time. The place I usually go for my beers. They had Equilibriums all the time up until summer came, and they just stopped handling them. So what do we got here? Something called 4 4s. All right, double IPA, I think, 8.5% alcohol. Perfect. It's just a work of art. Their beer is amazing. So just in the spirit of the holidays, you know, snow, white, foam, bad sort of analogy there. Just thought I'd give it one of my classic messy pours. Wow, I don't know what you guys think, but that looks great. And let's see about that pour. That looks pretty good. When you got like one single drop coming down the backside, got the logo on there, but you can't really see it for the channel. I'm gonna have to let that settle a bit. Like usual, my pours aren't the best. Not bad. All right, I can't wait to drink that, man, really. So, before we do anything, let's give away that Scorpions DVD. If you're saying, what the hell's he talking about, then prick up your ears, all right? You guys didn't hang in there for that episode or missed it completely. Now maybe you'll watch, all right? So, what we do, how I handle it. Everyone that says they want a shot at it, and there were 6 or 7 of you for sure, 1 or 2 of you I wasn't sure if you wanted in on a chance to win it or not. So I throw you in there anyway, just in case. I think it was 8 people. So I put your 8 names in the spinner, it's a random spinner wheel I grabbed offline. And I give it 1 spin. Let's let that spinner fly for, what the hell am I talking about? Scorpions Swiss TV DVD, 1977. Really good video. There's a couple of performances on here. Namely, I think Polar Nights, that are just amazing, you know? So anyway, here we go. Let's run the spinner, see who wins the Scorpions DVD. Guys, Scout's honor, I swear, I just throw your names on there and I spin it once. I've never spun it twice. I don't want to get into that, oh, well, that guy comments more, he's more involved in the channel, he goes back to the beginning. I can't get involved in that. If you're a contributor to the channel, I know your name, I know who you guys are. You get a shot. Chris, you won that Swiss TV. I'll comment back on your initial comment in the video. Hopefully you see the reply. I'm going to give you the instructions how to contact the channel's email address. I have an email address that's only for the channel. I don't look at it unless I am giving something away. So I will be doing that to get Chris Allo, yes, that Chris Allo, this copy of Swiss TV. Scorpions from 77. Now I have 7 other things to give away. I'm going to give them away all in one shot. coming up soon in the spirit of the holidays, all right? So that's just going to be one episode. I can't do this piecemeal shit anymore. All right, this beer is settling down a little bit. Oh, man. That beer's the best. It's exactly how you think it would taste. A little fruity, a little grapefruit action. Not too much anything. It's always just right. All right. By the way, 35 titles. These are all silvers except for a couple. Mostly silver press stuff. I'm really happy about that, man. You're seeing a lot of silver press coming back around. Some of these CDR things just seem to be less of them anyway. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But I wrote down my 35 titles that looked interesting, that I would gladly take if I had all the money in the world. And they almost all are silver press CDs, so that's great news. All right, so let's do it. Let's start out with a bunch of Zeppelin, 3 I think. Oxford Blues, no label for this double CD, and it's remastered by Graf Zeppelin. This is January 7th of 73. New Theatre, Oxford, UK. Looks like a good one. 3 bonus tracks are from Dundee, Scotland. Let's see, about 3 weeks later. They're from January 27th of 73. And 2 of those songs not part of the main show from Oxford, so they're cool bonus tracks. That being Heartbreaker and Communication Breakdown. So good job with the bonus tracks there. Oxford Blues looks like a good title. Also from Zeppelin live in Liverpool, England, of course, January 14th of 1973. Another remaster job by Graf Zeppelin. No label again, 2 CDs, 2-hour show. There's also a Wendy version, 2 CDs with a second source on the final 3 songs as your bonus tracks. Wendy, your sort of Zeppelin specialist label. And finally finishing up the Zeppelin live in Stoke, 1973. This is a gig from January 15th, the next night after that Liverpool show. No label again, 2 CDs, Graf Zeppelin again on the remastering. Trentham Gardens is the site of that show, technically, or the venue, I guess. Also, 2 other Wendy double CD versions are out there. One called Vis Unita Fortier, or Fortier, and Stoke-on-Trent multi-band remaster. The same material on all 3. So I guess just choose your cover art there, or choose to support Wendy since they're Zeppelin specialists. And that'll do it for the 3 cool Zeppelin titles, all soundboards. I think this whole list, by the way, all completely soundboard. If you don't already know, I'm not really a big audience guy. I don't feel the need for it anymore. There's so much soundboard stuff out there. So, Jeff Beck, Blow by Blow, 8-track quadraphonic tape, 2 CDs, no label. Disc 1 on this one is the rear channel, and disc 2, the front channel. There's a bonus CDR of Blow by Blow, quadraphonic LP. Simon and Garfunkel, Vancouver 1983 soundboard. Zion's the label for that double CD. We're at BC Place Stadium on August 22nd of 1983. That's an upgrade on that title. Now here's, I guess you could just call the 3 things that I got on order that are on this list picks of the month, so I'll just tell you what they are. They're not here yet. They should be here any day, so next bootleg update will be cool. Get to show you, I think I have 11 things on the way. Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love, Ultimate Leather Edition, no label, 1 CD. You get the original 10-song version of the 1981 album that was put out on Leather Records. Is it Elektra that eventually re-released it? Had 9 songs at that point. So the original 10-song version. 7 bonus tracks have 4 demos and single versions, and then another song that was, I guess, basically a demo. Nobody Knows What It's Like to Be Lonely. That one's on the way, and actually I have to admit, I have the Leather Records version in this guy. In fact, I pretty much specifically got this just to have that. And yet here I am. I know, it's one of those crazy things that we do as collectors. We're just never happy, right, till we have it all. That'll be cool to have it as a standalone. I don't even have Shout at the Devil as a standalone. I need to grab that. I love that album. I don't really like Motley Crue at all. After Shout at the Devil, I couldn't even tell you a damn thing about those guys. But other than I didn't like them anymore. I need a copy of Shout Out the Devil. I went on Steve Hoffman forum looking for the best CD version. Man, a lot of reviews are that all the CD versions kind of suck. So I don't know if any of you have an opinion on that. Let me know. Some people think that the regular basic Elektra CDs sound fine. Other people say they're lousy. I think there was 1 or 2 people that said the Japan first pressing of the CD was the best sound, and that's not even great, but it's pretty good. So that is a quest of mine at some point. But Too Fast for Love, a pick of the month, Ultimate Leather Edition. Rolling Stones, a bunch of titles from them, 7 actually. I try to ramble through them quick for you non-Stones fans and people that love them. You already know, man, a whole bunch of soundboard stuff's come out in the last few months for these guys. Although several of these could easily qualify as picks of the month, to be honest with you. I just didn't order them this month, but I have a couple on my list. Sticky Fingers Sessions, 3 CDs on Mayflower. Early demos, rehearsals, and studio sessions from February of 69 through December of 70 for the April of 71 album, Sticky Fingers. You really can't go wrong there with some great outtakes and stuff, I'm sure. A couple of options with this gig. Still Life in Tempe, another one from Mayflower, 2 CDs, Sun Devil Stadium. That would be December 13th, 1981, Tempe, Arizona. Another version of that, this one, Tempe, 1981 Rough Mixes, no label, Graf Zeppelin remaster on 2 CDs. Same material as the Mayflower title. Here's one that I really need to get. Fort Worth, 1972 Late Show, Tarrant County Convention Center. It's 1 CD, no label, Graf Zeppelin remaster again, and considered an upgrade. And that has what I consider only half hit songs on there. 8 of these songs are what I consider deep cuts. That's my problem with Stones concerts and bootlegs even too. They're just full of all the biggest songs, man. So here's one that only has about 8 hits out of 16 songs. Another cool looking title, the LA Forum 1975 Fourth Night. This came out a few months back, I know. No label, 2 CDs, a nice juicy 155-minute show. I think I might have that show on video already. But of course, cool to have, and I'm sure it sounds great these days. European Tour 1973, King Biscuit Flower Hour broadcasts, 2 CDs, no label. Disc 1 is the 1974 broadcast. Disc 2, 1988 rebroadcast that utilized alternate sources and cities compared to the 74 version. So if you think you have this, you really don't unless you have this version of it. In some cases, there were early and late shows, so they switched most of the show up when they did the 88 broadcast. Pulled from the same cities, okay? London, Brussels, and Rotterdam. This would be the 5th edition of this popular title. That shows you how cool it must be. A Bigger Bang soundboard, 2005 to 2007. Here's a cool one. Whoever this dude is, Captain Acid Remaster. All right. It's 4 CDs of quote-unquote best, usually meaning rarest, songs from the Bigger Bang tour. Very few songs repeat on here, so this is another killer. Empress Valley, $50 for 4 CDs. That is really tempting, and man, I don't blame you if you're buying that one. And that'll do it for the Stones. On to some Kiss, 3 titles from these guys. Alive Outtakes, Eddie Kramer Reel, 1 CD on Zodiac, 9 alternate versions with at least 1 from each of the 4 source cities of the Alive album. Guys, I blew this title off at first when I first saw it, okay? I can't stand that album. That triple tracked crowd noise is the most annoying shit I ever heard on a record, really. I mean, I'm sure the shows were awesome, but here we got to deal with this. It sounds like static in the background to me. Anyway, what makes this title so cool, at least the outtakes that are on YouTube, I haven't heard this title yet, but they do not have that fake crowd added. So we get some legit outtakes from the Alive recordings, and this sounds kind of cool. Only 9 songs though, but it's a single CD, so kind of reasonable. Denver 1984 soundboard, 2 CDs on Zodiac. We're at the DU Arena, January 25th of 84. And if you're into that glam LA Kiss, I'm not. This looks like a great title for you. Another final title, Definitive Memphis soundboard, one CD on Zodiac. We're at Lafayette's Music Room, April 14th of 74. Considered an upgrade. Not the best recording ever, but certainly early Kiss has to be cool. Man, all these titles are great, ain't they? Damn. Let's get a sip. Speaking of great. 4 Clapton titles. Hammersmith Odeon in 1974, The First Night, multi-track master, 2 CDs on Beano. It's a 2024 transfer / upgrade on that one. If you're not up for that, there's The Second Night, so that makes it December 4th and 5th of 74, the 461 Ocean Boulevard tour, multi-track master on The Second Night also, so cool stuff there from Beano. Saratoga Springs 1985 soundboard, June 25th. We're in New York, 2 CDs. This one, the first CDR of the whole batch. This is Uxbridge with this Saratoga Springs CDR release. All these other ones so far have been silver presses. And lastly for Clapton, LA Forum 1994 Dat Master, again on Beano, 2 CDs and considered an upgrade by Beano. Now here's a Clapton related title, pretty interesting one. Delaney and Bonnie, Country Life. Withdrawn 1972 album. No label, single CD. Was originally an album that was going to be released on Atco Records. Featured a real who's who. And man, you hear that expression sometimes. This one means it. There must be 20 or 30 people, most of whom you're going to know, that guested on this album. Rock, blues people. Just some of them. Eric Clapton, Duane Allman, King Curtis, Jim Gordon, Tina Turner, Dave Mason, Billy Preston. The list goes on and on. It's crazy. I mean, I don't know how an album like that gets made and doesn't get released, but that was the case, okay? There's 12 songs on the record plus 1 bonus song from the withdrawn Japanese version of the album. So pretty nice package there if you're a Delaney and Bonnie fan or just a generally blues rock fan from the early 70s era. Here's another pick of the month. Better be in the mail. Iron Maiden, Munich, 1983 soundboard. 2 CDs on Zodiac. We're at Olympia Hall, Germany, November 30th of 83. And let's see, this past year I just picked up Beast Over England. Actually 2 shows on this thing. All right, 1982 March, Hammersmith, and then also Reading Festival 82 double CD. And there you go. That kind of covers excellent sounding soundboard from the Number of the Beast tour. Hopefully this Munich 83 title covers the Peace of Mind era. I don't think there are any soundboards out there from the Peace of Mind era. I mean, I think I've been looking, unless I've just been missing them. So I'm really looking forward to hearing this one. Now, I almost skipped telling you about this next one. But the more I looked into it, cooler it kind of was. Billy Joel, The Garden, final show of his residency. All right, with a minimum of 1 show a month. And that residency has been going on for a damn decade already. Man, I remember when that started. It felt like a few years ago. 2 soundboards on Zion label. 27 songs, 3 of them with Axl Rose, including Highway to Hell by AC/DC. Watched some video of this on YouTube. He sounds really good. I got to tell you, man, I was really kind of knocked over. I haven't paid any attention to this dude in a long time. The only drawback to this CD is I kind of would prefer the video over the audio, you know. Audio's still cool. I kind of really want to see the whole video. The video that's on YouTube looks great, though, by the way. But really cool little title here, got to admit. So hardly a brand new unearthed recording, but one that I hadn't heard of, so I thought I'd throw it in there. AC/DC, First Strike, 1977. This is a CDR on Lost and Found. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, 7 songs from 77. You get a couple of songs as bonus tracks from CBGB's in New York City. And then I'm a Rebel from Germany of 76. So a nice little 10-song CDR there from Lost and Found. And they have a few others from that era also out there. Man, what can top that? I can tell you what. Huey Lewis and the News. All right, I throw a little A little bit of everything in there sometimes. Saratoga Springs 1984 soundboard. This is a CDR on Uxbridge and a single CD at that. How about a little grunge mention for once? All right, I know I never touch on that stuff. Nirvana, Ren, 1991 pre-FM. It's on Zodiac single CD. You get a bonus DVD-R. That's a pro/audio matrix of the same show. 48 minutes each on that title. Here's a cool one from Floyd. Pink Floyd, Roundhouse 1971. Now the main part of the show is not the thing here. It's these bonus tracks, I guess. 1 CD on Sigma. 3 songs from the Roundhouse Auditorium, January 17th of 71, London. And then three songs that are an AM broadcast from Lyon, France, June 12th, 71, which include Adam Hart Mother being done with the brass ensemble and the John Aldis Choir, directed by John Aldis. Sound, I've listened to a little bit of this. It's very good. There are only a handful of live performances of Adam Hart Mother, the song, with the full brass and choir. I think 6 or 8, somewhere like that. So here, 1 captured on FM quality, or I should say radio quality since it's AM. Relatively speaking, very precious little soundboard quality stuff of that. So this would be a pick of the month too. I might have to go for this myself. When I placed my order, I didn't know about this one. So, all right, The Who. A bunch of great soundboard titles from The Who from 1969. The Electric Factory, 1969 soundboard on Wardour. Philadelphia, 50 minutes. Some of these shows just partials. Acetates, 1969 US Tour soundboard, also on Wardour. Preliminary live album recordings, 66 minutes on that one. Amsterdam, 1969 pre-FM master. Wardour's the label, again 2 CDs at Concert Cabal. This is the one that you should get of all those 3. It's a full 2-hour show. Another one from The Who. Stony Brook 1969 soundboard, again on Wardour. This is an upgrade on 50-minute single CD. And finally, Fillmore East 1969 soundboard, again on Wardour, single CD. 10 songs, October 22nd of 69. 3 bonus tracks from an unknown date, another night during the Fillmore run. Pretty cool. And finally, guys, the biggest, most badass bootleg news, and probably most significant releases of the year, or among them at least, 3 soundboards from Van Halen's Diver Down tour. You guys know I just picked up 3 Diver Down tour DVDs. I only got to the Largo 82 so far, which is great. I think I mentioned, if I haven't yet, very nice upgrade over what was trading years ago. I've really been in a Diver Down mood lately watching that. Man, how killer is this? 3 great soundboards from 82. Guys, I have like 8 or 10 soundboard or supposed soundboards from Van Halen, 77 through 79. I just don't consider them true soundboards. Some of them are, but they're just deteriorated sources. They're listenable, they're decent quality. Others, though, were like radio broadcasts, 1 or 2 microphones strategically placed on the stage. I just don't consider them true soundboards. Not the same to me anyway, regardless of what Zodiac writes on the back. Not the case with these latest 3 releases from Van Halen. First, we got Wisdom Mass, 1982. First night soundboard. 2 CDs on Zodiac from October 22nd. Missing a few small parts. Most likely tape flip action there. We also have Wista, 1982. Third night soundboard. Another 2 CDs on Zodiac from October 24th. Again, both of those live at the Centrum. And finally, Toronto 1982. Soundboard. 2 CDs again from Zodiac. Maple Leaf Gardens, October 26th of 82. And these all sound great. They have the bite and that just awesome quality. True like studio-like production on these. These sound like first generation tapes. All right. So there you go, guys. 35 of the hottest, latest boot releases out of Japan. I know there have been a few others in the last week. I'll just have to get to them next round. All right. I got 3 of those on order and 8 other things, So let me take a minute to just mention a few things. First, shout out to a viewer Christopher, who's in Sweden, I believe. Reminded me of a site that I mentioned in the past but never actually used myself. And their prices are just the best, gotta say. And those 3 titles that I think I ordered and 8 others on the way for under $180 using FedEx included. So that's just awesome. And Chris, thanks again. And he okayed me sharing this picture he sent me of his bootleg laboratory. All right, that looks pretty cool. I don't know if these are all his bootlegs, but I get the feeling these are just his bootlegs alone. And love the cool logo sitting there in the corner. That was a nice touch. You didn't have to do that. But that looks cool. And dude, thanks a lot. Really, I really appreciate it. By the way, Chris reached out through our Facebook page that I've had for like 6 months and literally never even mentioned on this channel. So if you want, there's a Facebook page, Classic Rock and Metal Review, just like it sounds. Head over. I don't do much on that page, honestly, other than maybe randomly tell you what I'm listening to, bootleg and commercial. But, you know, it's also a way to communicate too, as this dude Chris did. So, again, a million thanks. This other site that I mentioned before, I kind of forgot about. I mentioned it to you guys as a suggestion and never used myself. So I finally got my ass involved. It does take a little bit of getting used to their site, but once you do, you're good. All right, so how about some stuff I've been listening to lately? Let's go over these 7 releases. Some of them recently acquired, others in the last year or so. Some of these are vintage titles. One of them goes back to the 90s, I think. All right, so Atom Heart Mother by Pink Floyd. Seeing Gilmore do Fat Old Son last month, Madison Square. That kind of got me to thinking, man, I haven't listened to the entire Atom Heart Mother album in a while. Now, here is my CD. This is from the late 80s. This might be among my first 5 titles I ever bought on disc. Pink Floyd, Atom Heart Mother, because I had so many of their albums on cassette that when I bought a CD player, they were the only CDs I ended up getting were the ones I didn't have on tape. And Atom Heart Mother, Capitol Records CD. Take a look at this. At this point, vintage disc, right? Cool. It sounds good. Sounds really good. But I still sprung for this flat transfer. I think a year and a half ago, something like that. I got more at the same time. And this guy gave this a nice quality listen driving. And man, sounds beautiful. It just does. And, you know, which kind of got me thinking, because it doesn't say anywhere here on the artwork either, what is the source? Flat transfer from what? Usually these are original vinyl pressings, whether they're UK, US, whatever. Doesn't say that anywhere here. I had to go digging on the internet to find anything in. I think honestly it was Discogs, where someone found some quotes from back when it was originally released, you know, some propaganda, let's say, and Sigma release number titles 262, basically saying that this was from the original master tapes. So that's really kind of cool, you know. It's not just a needle drop, which those are awesome. I would have had no problem if it was. So very satisfying listening to this. I have to say, really, really good sound on that original 80 CD. This sounds great. All right, I never even thought twice about the sound quality on this. It sounds so good. So why did I go for this? I don't know. Sometimes you just stick your neck out there. And this is going to be my go-to from now on. Just really beautiful sound on this thing. Lush is how I would best describe this listening experience. Is even the loudest parts of this album are just not as jarring as they are with that original CD. I noticed this sort of swirling, panning effect going on in places that I never noticed. My probably 20 or 30 listens to this guy. And the volume level in the usual 10 to 15% lower range, as you would expect with like a needle drop. It's kind of the same here with these supposed master tape transfer. All right. And the title track also cuts in supposedly like the original album. I read that somewhere, but you know, it's only 1 second difference, so nothing really there. What does count? Overall better sound. It really just does sound feel earthier, a little sort of quieter, a little sort of cleaner. Not in a major way, but if you've heard this album 30 times like I have, you will notice the difference. It's that noticeable, at least for longtime diehards of the album. So the best CD version of this album, in my opinion, as great as this one is, this is solid, is this one. Now, I don't have it on vinyl to compare. Well, nothing really compares to vinyl in most cases, all right? But I'm just talking CDs. This will be my go-to, as I mentioned. Will Atom Heart Mother Flat Transfer be among 2024's best CDs for me? That's something I'll be doing, one of the best of lists coming up that we do every year around this time of year, like all the channels do. By the way, the Japan 7-inch package, Hakone Aphrodite 50th anniversary release that came out a few years ago. It's now widely available through Walmart, Target, under $30. I've seen it $27, $28. Atom Heart Mother on CD, and digitally restored, the original and best source of band doing the song Atom Heart Mother at one of Japan's first ever rock festivals in 1971. That's on a Blu-ray. Sticking with Floyd, another title, this one vintage title, and it's called Dark Side, The Dark Soundboard of Philadelphia. Highland is your label. This will be titled HL 491. It came out in the year 2000. The CD credits the show as being from the Philadelphia Spectrum, March 15th, 1973, or Spectrum Theater actually, where they basically shrunk the arena to half size. Okay, one CD is a silver press, and the set list on this one, just the songs from Dark Side of the Moon. I came across this on a used bootleg website, all right? I think it was $12. And I'm like, whoa, I never even heard of this show. Or actually, I kind of heard of this show, but I never heard it. Turns out, it's erroneous info. What we have, in fact, here is a well-known 1974 concert, and I think it's November 15th, something like that. All right, so probably just bad info on the part of Highland. I don't think they were intentionally misleading people, but who knows? I mean, it's 20-some years ago now. Such is the world of boot collecting, guys. Every once in a while, you know, part of the fun is navigating the landscape of the bootleg community. All right, so, or as Lemmy once put it, the chase is better than the catch. So this one, you know, there's people out there that collect bootlegs. Like, well, they don't even care if it's wrong info, and, you know, there's an upgrade in the quality in a major way since. People like just collecting these things. So this is a pretty cool one. And then behind the disc there, some random shots of the band. Dave Gilmour in the credits. All right, so there you go. Dark Side of Philadelphia from Pink Floyd. It's actually 74. Moving on to another used Highland label title that I picked up recently. This one might have been $14, $16. It's called Master of Chicago Show, double CD, title number HL 446 and 447, two silver press CDs. This one from 1999. I admit I'm pretty novice of a Genesis fan, all right, but I do occasionally enjoy listening to these guys, and 76 to 83 is kind of my sweet spot. So some earlier stuff, but definitely not later, all right? They jumped the shark at Invisible Touch for me. Anyway, here we go. Soundboard radio show, broadcast from the Uptown Theater, Chicago, Illinois, October 13th of 78. This set list here is right up my alley. Some deeper cuts, but most of their popular songs up to that point for sure represented here. The sound, very good overall. There is a little bit of buzzing in some spots at the source, apparently. It sounds like I think it's an FM broadcast, so, you know, broadcast issues maybe. Happens a few times for a minute or so. Ripples and Deep in the Motherlode. They are my two favorites off of this one. And Deep in the Motherlode I really love going in, but Ripples, the version on here, I think is the best song on here. My favorites. Great pickup. There's probably an updated version of this by now, being 25 years old, I'm sure. But very happy with this $14 double disc to kickstart my Genesis bootleg collecting. Look at these CDs. I got to hold this one in or it'll fall on out. That CD case is a little busted up there. Or, you know, just not holding the disc. Could be that's just the case's fault. And the other disc looks the same, just blue. And there's some Phil Collins there for you. So that was kind of a cool pickup. Genesis, Master of Chicago show. Halen gave the title to this one. On to some metal, namely some Black Sabbath. Studio outtakes 1970 to 71. This will be a Zodiac title, number 667 on this guy. Came out in 2024, earlier this year. 2 silver presses as always from Zodiac. Finally finished disc 2 of this. Okay, I hadn't listened to disc 2 last time we chatted about it. Overall, the 2 discs are about 20% Paranoid and 80% Master of Reality, which is great because between the deluxe edition of Paranoid, this guy, and the super deluxe edition of Paranoid, we got lots of Paranoid going on, right, in our world already. So that's a cool one, though. A lot of people, I think, forget this is even out there. I don't hear anyone talk about this much anymore. All right, so these 2 releases, Studio Outtakes 1969, and then this one, 70 and 71, simply put, essential for a Sabbath fan. Mandatory, no-brainers, however you want to put it, all right? You need these things. Like you're sitting behind the mix and desk listening to the band record the songs, some false starts, some takes that didn't make it. Best of all, every song is followed up with at least one, if not several, complete takes. So you get the sitting in, listening experience with the false starts, and then you get a complete take of at least one complete take of every song that's on here. Not every song from the albums are on there, but most of them are. The band tried different guitar tones. There's piano that eventually got removed, not on the record, but here it is during the recording. So not a ton of that stuff, but enough. Enough where if you're a Sabbath head, you're going to notice every little nook and cranny in here. I do detect a few takes from the Master of Reality Deluxe Edition. All right. I'm okay with that because there's so much more here on top of that. Both of these discs are near 80 minutes, so you get a take or two from this guy. And same with, I believe anyway, with the bonus takes from Paranoid's Deluxe Edition 2. So if you need just one disc of alternates, I'll say this much. You should just stick to the regular double disc editions, okay? I really do think, as much as I love listening to these studio outtakes, very complete, thorough, set list, track listing on here. As much as I love it, I'll have to admit they did a really excellent job of picking the best of the alternate takes for those initial, I think they're Sanctuary Deluxe editions. They are really satisfying in that way. They plucked the coolest of the cool for those releases. So, all right, if you need just one single disc, you could stick to that. Take a little look inside. All right, you got the cool, initial sticker there, collector's sticker on the inside of this one. Just both albums underneath that very popular band shot of them in the studio. All 4 discs look the same. Different spin on the Vertigo swirl is really cool. I like that it's kind of like a bronze and black as opposed to all that white and black we've seen over the years. And just a purple and black version on the back, that's even cooler. I like it all. So nothing super fancy with the artwork, but studio outtakes, 70 to 71. It might be better than the first one. I don't even know. They're just both awesome. You need them both. Just delved into the beginning of Sabbath. Now let's take a little look at the end, which prompts me to pick that glass up over there and take a sip. This is Definitive Hollywood Bowl 2016. 2 CDs on Zodiac. Title number, I didn't write it down. Let's figure that out. 278. I went to 2 shows on the End tour. All right, as you can see, I threw something around my neck. I Hey, if I'm not going to show it here, what the hell am I going to do? I had to dig it out of a closet, all right? So I did the VIP for this tour. Holmdel, New Jersey, PNC Bank Arts Center, whatever the hell, all right? So they didn't give you a lanyard for your ticket, which is, I'm fine with that. It's kind of been done a million times. So just this thing to hang around you, all right? Kind of cool. The VIP lounge was really cool. Man, we had a lot of beer in there. And chicken wings and nachos or whatever. They had these cool coasters laying around, so I grabbed like 3 of these. Really cool. Love those. All right, so that's that. Here's the ticket. That was awesome. Yeah. You've seen tickets before. And here's the book he got. We didn't do the meet and greet. All right, I wasn't that crazy. $1,000 for that. $500 for what we got. But you also got, I think, like our 11th row seat. So all this stuff. Air conditioned tent. Well, it was 90 degrees outside. Free beer and all that stuff. So let's just take a quick look at this book here, man. It's not all that. It's kind of cool. It's not that many pages of pictures, but this really cool embossed sort of in purple, as you can see, book. Nothing on the back at all. So let's just thumb through this winner real quick. All right, you get your sort of, I don't know, what is that supposed to be? Commemorative ticket. It's got a, one of those QR codes. I never even bothered going on there. I guess I should try it. Souvenir pendant. Some fake autographs there on the book. Guitar picks from the 3 of them over there on the side. That's kind of cool. The pages are super glossy. Almost like too glossy. They seem to be wrinkling a little bit, even though they're being kept safe space. All right. Not one of those farewell tours where in 5 years we're going to do another one. I kind of like that. It's over. I'm glad it's over, man. And I don't even care that they called this the end. If they did another tour, I probably would go, but I'm fine with the fact that they're not going to try one. I don't think they're in any shape to do one anymore. I don't know what you guys think. But anyway, kind of a cool book. Just goes through each album, when the tour started and ended, each tour. All right, it's not like be-all, end-all book of Sabbath or anything, but it's kind of cool, right? Got this with your meet and greet, your sound check, free beer and food for 3 hours in an air-conditioned tent when it was hot as balls out. And you got all this little replica swag and stuff in this thing here that I never even opened, which, now that I'm looking, I think there's actually, is there 2 of these? I think there's one in the front, another one in the back. I never even opened those pouches to look at this stuff. I probably should. You got old replica tickets and stuff. It's pretty sweet. One day I should just break that stuff open. Well, this is kind of cool. I didn't even know this was in here. That would be cool to just throw up on the wall. All right, so I just thought I'd share that before we get into this 2016 double CD from Zodiac. I went to one show at Madison Square Garden. Very good musically, all right? The performance-wise, the show was fine. Didn't blow us away. It wasn't bad either. It was good, really good. Very, very fun, memorable show with the VIP situation in Holmdel. That was in August, all right? The Madison Square Garden was in February. The show, it really just wasn't as good, 6 months later. I don't know if the band was just maybe starting to get a little tired. It was good. It just wasn't great. Ozzy was fine. He wasn't awesome, but he sounded pretty good to us. I don't actually remember really any issues with him. What bothered us the most, that they removed all the 13 stuff from the set list. I mean, it was basically the same set list from 3 years earlier, stripped of the 13 material, and nothing really replaced those songs. So it was a shorter show. There was really no deep cuts anymore. Kind of learned that at Madison Square Garden, so it wasn't really a surprise. Nothing had changed by August, though, And I think what also kind of bothered us more by this point was the fact that Sharon was toting this tour as, stage show will be incredible. We'll pull out all the stops, I think is what she said. Bullshit. A video screen behind a band. I mean, that was literally all they had going on stage. Not that I go to these shows for an awesome stage show, but it's nice when it happens. Don't promise one when there literally wasn't one. A video screen is not a stage show. where you pull out all the stops. So that felt kind of tacky, really did. Musically speaking, though, very good show at Madison Square, and it was okay by the other show in August. But other than watching The End DVD, maybe about 5 years ago now, I haven't heard a show from 2016. So let's talk about this one, Hollywood Bowl. The show proper from September 19th, 2016, soundboard quality, and it's excellent. Very cool hearing raw live bootleg from this tour, especially if you were there and you want to relive it, or I guess even if you're not, you want to hear what it was like. Ozzy sounds a bit worse than I would have recalled from the two shows I saw. He's struggling a bit here, okay? He's just, he just is. Musically, though, it's better than I remembered. Great, actually. Now, Tony's playing very good, still at a very high level. Probably forgot how good he still sounded, although I do remember him sounding really good. I guess I shouldn't be surprised. No new tricks, perhaps, but lots of gas still in the tank to do everything he was doing up till that point. Tommy sounds great on drums, of course. Geezer, probably the surprise on here. Both his playing and the sound quality of his bass are excellent. It's a real treat just listening to him play these songs. Each and every one of them, he sounds great. All right, pretty basic set list, kind of a ragged Ozzy aside, pretty damn good memento of the End tour. Now, the reason I brought up all that VIP stuff earlier too, if you went to that VIP like me, you got to see the sound check, and they are the bonus tracks on here, which is really cool because, that's something that you just have in your head. I don't know if I've heard of a bootleg having the sound check VIP experience kind of thing as your bonus tracks. I'm sure they're out there. I just never until this one heard about that happening. So here is one. Man, it was really cool and really fun and very much like reliving that experience. I remember certain things really clear, but it's a half-hour long VIP thing, and I forgot a lot more than I remembered, I guess, as far as details. If you didn't pay that small ransom to go to that, here you get to hear what it was like. So it's not actually like a mini concert. A lot of MC talk and introducing the various guys. They come out, they do some solos, and the couple of songs that you get, like I said, takes 30 minutes to get to, all in all. Overall, I'm very happy with this. I think I paid $16 for this used. It plays fine, no issues. It looks pretty damn good. New jewel case on there, it looks great. So I can't recommend this to people that only have a few bootlegs of Sabbath. You don't want to hear this as your third or fourth one. Get the older stuff. But if you're someone like a completist like me, you need something from 2016. As far as I know, this is the only silver press soundboard out there from the End tour. Quick look at these really cool CDs. All right. And let's flip back. They look great. Pretty simplistic packaging otherwise, but I love how the CDs look. Ozzy Osbourne, Bloomington, 1982. Now this one just came out in the last month or two. Zodiac single CD, silver press, of course. Been patiently waiting and hoping for this thing to come out. All right, on a major bootleg label. It's been out in the gray market. It's been on Shades as a CDR back in 2013. It's hard to find. So finally we get it. Now, the original tape of this show, that I believe is the original tape, or one of them, is on YouTube. Lots of source tape issues, okay? You name it. Hiss, fluctuations in sound, tape warble, totally just lacks dynamics in some spots. Other spots sound really good. And so here's a closer look at your CD. You're getting the inner sleeve. All right. Now, 2024 technology, fantastic, okay? But has its limitations, I'm afraid. There's still tape hiss here. There's still some tape warble. All right. Although it's greatly lessened, it's kind of stabilized. But now we have this kind of constant hiss, okay? It's not as loud as it can be in spots with the original tape, but it's kind of always there, So not up and down in volume, but just kind of constant. Although average compared to the original tape, okay? Not the worst, not the best, but it's in the middle, but it's constant. There's a bit more of loss of dynamics in the instruments, especially drums. Tom drums sound like someone's hitting boxes, okay? Cardboard boxes. Pretty bad. It wasn't great on the original, but it's kind of deadened by whatever they had to do to try to clean up the fluctuations, smooth it out. Yeah, it's smoothed out, but it's kind of at a little bit of a loss of other aspects of the sound quality, all right? Still though, this is one of only 4 Randy Rhoads soundboards, all right? Easily the worst sound of the 4, but still a soundboard. Despite Zodiac's best effort here though, it still sounds kind of rough. It is cool to finally have this show though, I'll say that much. And I have listened to it twice, so it's not unlistenable at all. It's just a little bit of a rough listen for sure. Some great playing as usual. I love the strategic delay that they throw in on spots. Sounds like that's being done from the soundboard itself. All very close to the Kalamazoo 1982 show. All right. As far as the set list, the sound of Randy's guitar had that different sort of tone going on by this point. If you're going to just pick one, of course, please pick Kalamazoo. It sounds great. All right, you're not going to have the tape issues that you have with Bloomington. Cool to finally complete the Randy Rhoads soundboard collection. All right, honestly though, you just need Kalamazoo if you're only going to have one of those shows. Finally, guys, a great 2 CD title from Zodiac. This one, title number 180 from 2016. Judas Priest, Rare Metalworks. Like I said, double CD. Collection of one-off and short partial shows. More of the live B-sides that we got from the officially released live and Rare. Sound very good to excellent throughout this disc with very few exceptions. And a bunch of these songs I had downloaded off of YouTube from years ago. So it's nice to be able to toss those CDRs in the trash. And now we have this awesome title. Here's what you're getting as far as your inner packaging, okay? There's your CD and your inner cover, front cover. Spin around to the back, I'll give you some highlights. Another same look on that CD. Halford, more modern age shot there. Here's your track listing and some of my favorites on here. You got to have a copy of that Whiskey Woman demo, right? That's on here. Victim and Tyrant, both from Cleveland, Ohio, May of '78. That's a show from the Agora. That was some of the songs were on live and Rare. Okay, these songs, all 4 of these songs were not on that release by Priest. And Tyrant and Victim of Change is on here are phenomenal. The BBC 78, all 5 songs. This was something I had a separate CDR from. I got to throw that in the garbage. This is a really interesting show. They have some effects on the drums. I guess the band's experimenting. Luckily, they didn't keep that crap around. Sounds kind of goofy. These sort of trigger effects, space age stuff sounding. Synsonics drums, if you guys remember that. But White Heat, Red Hot, and Starbreaker off of this performance are great. Okay, disc 2, Beyond the Realms of Death, from, looks like it was this bonus 7-inch single, okay, from Unleashed in the East album, live Tokyo, February. That is an awesome version of that tune. And there are some extended 12-inch versions from both the Defenders of the Faith and Turbo albums on here. They're cool to have. Silver press versions of. They're originally just vinyl, as far as I know. Just a great collection of antiques and curios from Judas Priest. Enjoyed this one a lot. In fact, each of those discs, when they got done, I thought, man, these discs are only like 60 minutes or so. No, they were 77 and 78-minute discs, each of them. So they are just over before you know it. You know, they're so interesting. Really good stuff. You also got a bonus CDR. This is a little cheesy. Rare tracks, more. Okay, only because it draws a lot from the officially released single cuts that Priest put out, which I don't have. So I guess it's kind of cool to have this as a bonus since I don't have single cuts. But lots of, as you would expect, single versions from these albums. So that was kind of interesting to listen to shorter versions of a lot of their biggest songs. I was in the mood to hear these basic hits that day, a couple days ago. I didn't get farther into the 90s and beyond. There's a lot of that stuff. You got about 7 songs up to 86 and about 9 songs afterwards. All right. So anyway, you get it as a free bonus. I guess you can't argue with it. Okay. All right. There you have it, guys. 35 of the latest and greatest bootleg CD releases out of Japan recently. 7 of my latest pickups. Thanks again to Christopher for hooking me up. Holidays are here. Time to get decorated up in this bitch. Next time I see you, we'll be warming our cockles. All right. Hoping to squeeze in a few short episodes before we get to the best of 2024. Got some Sabbath, Anno Domini, best of to get to. Give you my favorite 15 or 16 songs from those 4 albums that were pretty much new to me. They were all new to me this year, for sure. November Haul, 13 CDs and little mini reviews of each of those. Older CDs for the most part, but new to me. And a cool Rat Rarity CD I picked up. Also, got to give you a review for Lizzie's 1976 box set, okay? Then we'll get to that best of 24. Everyone, stay warm, stay frosty, and watch Classic Rock and Metal Review. Chris, I'll be getting a hold of you. Look at your comments. All right, later.